into this like, okay, in 5 years I'm gonna be done, 10 years I'm gonna be done, and then it's like I got diamonds blue into these slides in both ears. Ice falling on the Las Vegas strip tonight. Slip that on and we might justify.
Alright, hey everyone, how are you today? I hope everything is going well in your life. Thank you for coming back to my YouTube channel. I keep saying YouTube channel like we're not on YouTube, but what will be my list to be applying to these dental hygiene schools that are like super competitive, right? I was first waitlisted as a student and I had the prerequisites. I had everything done. I had a 3.4 GPA. I was really good at science and English and everything. Not that great at math. I only had 2 C's, 1 C in microbiology and 1 C in chemistry at college level, and I was waitlisted. So it really has nothing to do with how good or bad you are as a student necessarily. It's just the way that the programs are set up. There's only about 100 seats and then 20 students get in, and then probably only 3 graduate. So that's what's causing this dental hygiene shortage. I will share the screenshots at the end of this video, so don't worry if you didn't catch it on my TikTok. So the first thing I had was you have to understand that you're going to obtain an associate's degree in dental hygiene, which is about 78 to 88 credits, maybe 90 credits. It depends on the school you go to. But you're going to graduate with your associate's degree, associates in science and dental hygiene, and you will have to apply for your boards exams, pass your boards exams, and then apply to be licensed in dental hygiene in order to practice as a dental hygienist in whatever particular state you want to work in. So that's the process. You do your prerequisites, and then you get into a clinical program. Once you finish, you apply the clinical program, you finish the clinical program, you graduate the clinical program with your associate's degree. You will have to go and do your boards exams. Once you completed your boards exams and you passed your boards exams, you have to apply to be licensed in whatever states you want to practice in. And then you have to apply to start working in an office or for temp agencies or both. That is your path. On that checklist, I had make a checklist, keep a folder, do iCloud, have emails, have something, some way, somehow that you're going to keep everything organized, because you're going to use this list of information you have gathered to use that to apply to other schools across the board. You should be searching on adha.org for whatever schools you want to apply to. If you're in America, that's the website. If you're in Canada, it's cdha.org. And if you are an international student from another country, or you've been a dentist or an assistant or a dental nurse in another country, then you can check out ifdh.org. And then if you're a black or brown person, minority, that you want to have a community or organization, I also suggest joining browngirlrdh.org. I also would suggest that you follow them on Instagram, and I believe they have TikTok too, and just join the organization, become part of their tribe, so you can have an organization that's behind you while you're in school and also as a professional. If you have your state, apply to your state dental hygiene association now so you can be part of their boards. And if you live in Texas, then Google Texas Dental Hygiene Association, or Florida Dental Hygiene Association. That's what I mean. That would be a way to have someone else close-knit that you can contact when you have questions about dental hygiene, even after you become a professional. So my first thing was desire. Why? Your why. Like, why do you want to be a dental hygienist? What is making you want to do this? I would write all the reasons why and the reasons why not. And yes, also why not. So your why is going to be the reason why you continue to wake up every morning to go do it. It's going to be the reason that brings you back to being happy to do this every single day. When you feel like you're down, you're out, there's things going on, it's going to be your why, your desire. Having faith over fear, definitely, because if you have fear of failing, fear of anything, it's going to affect your ability to move forward with your dreams and your aspirations. You may not be as good as you would like to be yet, maybe, but you have the ability and the drive to be able to do better. That's a good mindset to have. And then also remember that this is a journey. So you can't just go into this jumping into this like, okay,
in 5 years I'm gonna be done, 10 years I'm gonna be done, and then it's like
you're not enjoying the process. Like, you have to enjoy that the present moment you're in is where you deserve to be right now. And you can think about the future, you can have a plan for the future, but you have to enjoy the journey. And that's one thing that I feel like I should have known before I joined dental hygiene, is like, enjoy the journey. That's what I'm learning to do now. So be patient and enjoy the journey. Dedication and willingness to adapt and change. This is a real serious big girl career. You have to be ready to really get into it. And this is something you can use for the rest of your life if you choose to, as a career. So of course this is going to be something that is going to be life changing. You have to be ready to be mature enough to handle what you're about to get yourself into. And this is a real career. That's all I really could tell you. This is a real career. So this is not probably anything you've ever really dealt with before. And you have to be ready to adapt and change, because this is something you've never done before. Reading all the instructions on the websites is very fundamental. Make sure you're reading everything in its entirety. And if you don't understand something, read it over, step away, read it again. Read it over and over until you think you understand it. And if you don't understand what you're reading, ask questions. Email the school advisors, the mentors. Have someone else around you that you care for, you trust. A school teacher, someone around you who you feel like can read it and interpret it better so you can understand, so you don't miss anything that you would have to put on your checklist in order to make sure you get everything done. You should also have a high school diploma or GED, and I would say that you want your GPA in college and high school to be at least a 3.0, 3.1. If it is not, then I would say no lower than a 3.7, 3.8. I mean, 2.7, 2.8 is the lowest I say that a dental hygiene school will really look at you. A lot of them say that the requirement to stay in dental hygiene school and the requirement to apply some schools, some are different, is 2.5. But I really wouldn't even go by that, because you don't want to be overlooked. You know, if you need to take a class over or something, then maybe that's something you need to do. But I would speak to a professional and speak to an advisor for that. Courses that you've taken in high school, if you've taken any college courses, if you've gotten at least a C+ in it, you can use those to apply to dental hygiene school. Or if you already have a degree or some type of college credits you've taken already, you can use those college credits to transfer and apply to multiple dental hygiene schools. Make sure that the classes you've taken, majority of them, or your major in high school or college, was basically like science and healthcare based. If it wasn't healthcare based, at least science classes like chemistry, anatomy, biology, earth science. You need to have some science background. And if you don't, you have to be prepared to have those prerequisites for college done in science. Even if you don't have your major as dental hygiene yet, you need to have a major of healthcare of healthcare sciences, some kind of science classes. If you are part of any teams, volunteering, very important. If you're shadowing anyone in the dental hygiene or dental space, it's very important that you add that to your resume and you add that to your application. A lot of these schools nowadays, they want you to have to been employed as a dental assistant or as a dental hygiene assistant before, or a regular dental assistant before. And if you have not been employed, at least shadowed a dentist or a dental hygienist for at least 8 hours, 8 to 40 hours. That's what I've seen when I've researched schools. A lot of them say they want you to shadow someone in the healthcare field, at least, especially a dentist, a dental hygienist, for at least 8 hours. I want you to know if this is something you really want to do. And also, if you get into school, you don't want to waste your time going through the whole process of getting into school and then you hate it. You should know at least if you want to shadow and if this is something you really are dedicated to doing. One is your accolades, your awards, your achievements. If you have anything that you ever won, anything that you've had an achievement for, got a small award, certificate, anything that you've been great at, anyone who has told you, oh my God, you did so great at that, have them write you a letter of recommendation, and also get a copy of those accolades and those awards to attach to your personal essay and to your application to dental hygiene school. This is your interview. Think of it that way. So you want to put your best foot forward. You want to look amazing. You want to look great. You want to be polished. You want to look like you got your stuff together and you're the best person out there for the job, you know? So in order to do that, you have to have a lot of things backing you up that makes you look amazing. You want to look amazing, period. A very strong personal essay and a personal statement. You want to make sure it doesn't have any grammar errors. You don't want to make sure it has any spelling errors, any punctuation errors. You want someone else to read over it, look over it, make sure that it makes sense and it has context. In the dental hygiene list that does say personal statement. So if you want to watch that video, I will leave that video linked in the description box, or I'll put a card up here so you can click on it so you can watch that video. The next thing is, of course, I already touched on, which was the strong letters of recommendation from at least 3 to 4 people. So they should be professionals in your life, but if you don't have anyone super professional in your life, then at least have like a church member, a team coach, captain, someone who can vouch that you are a great person in that space, that you deserve to be in a professional setting, that you are kind, you are respectful, you are smart, you know, someone who can vouch for you about this. You also want to have checked your accreditations, the board passing rate and graduation rate of the schools after you've researched and decided what schools you want to go to and you've written them down. If the school you're applying to or you're deciding to go to does not have a great boards rate, like people aren't passing the boards from them and people aren't graduating from their school, why would you want to go there? Those are not schools that you should want to go to. And if you are, you have to be very ready for the fact that that might be you as well. They might not be preparing their students as great to pass the boards, and their students aren't being prepared properly at that school. And accreditation means that the school is accredited by the American Dental Association as a school that can be verified to teach you in states recognized as a real school. Do not go to a school that is not a real school or a school that is not accredited, because non-accredited schools are very hard to vouch and very hard to show that you actually got a degree from, and it's going to be hard for you to get your license from. So always make sure the school is accredited. The next thing would be a TEEDS exam. I see that a lot of schools want you to have an exam to enter into the school first, or into the program first. Make sure you study for those tests. I will Google TEEDS test exams, how to study for TEEDS tests, study practice exams, and study them. And then once I've scheduled my test, I will spend at least a month studying for the TEEDS test. And remember, it's not a real test. It's a test to see what you know, so they can give you a gauge of understanding how you learn. That's really all it's for. So don't worry about the TEEDS test. Another thing is getting your immunizations and your medical screening together. So when you went to the doctor, you have to have your hepatitis A, B, your hepatitis B, C. You have to have your tuberculosis shots, you know, your measles. All of that has to be done. And they want to make sure that you have all your medical stuff in order. So get all of that in order together. I remember when I applied for dental hygiene school, I had to have it at least, I believe, 6 months in advance. Every school is different. It can't be more than a year old though. I know that for sure. So when the school is ready for you to apply, just look on the websites and see what they're saying. But you're going to have to go to the doctor, make sure you have all your immunizations and that you're healthy. If you have anything in your criminal record, you have to bring that up in advance, you know? So yeah, they're going to be fingerprinting you. They're going to be doing drug tests. It's going to be a whole lot. So I'm not sure if it's with hair though. So I know I definitely took a P test though. So, and of course, your college level prerequisites. You should be getting, like I said, at least a C plus or better. A, B, or C plus is the least. And I would say at least 2 C's max. You don't want anything more than 2 C's. You can still try to apply. This is just my opinion. And the courses are prerequisites that you should take are College Math 1101, which is just like the basic 101. All of these are basic prerequisite classes. College Math 101, College English 101. World History is a maybe. You may not need that, but I know that most schools do want you to take at least one kind of history. So it's an entry level history. And physiology 1 and 2 labs. Some schools it does come separately, where they have human anatomy as one class and physiology as one class. Whatever it comes like, you need to have taken human anatomy and physiology with the labs. Then 1 and 2. And then you'll need chemistry 101, some kind of chemistry. They will sometimes exchange the chemistries you've taken, but at least chemistry 101. Intro to Psychology 101. Intro to Sociology 101. So psychology, sociology. Some type of computer science class usually is needed, 101. Speech or oral communications is just a class where you give presentations. I've seen it being called speech and diction class as well. So if you've already taken that, you know what I'm talking about. But it's an oral communications class to learn how to speak. And then human nutrition, a nutrition class. Microbiology 101, very easy microbiology. And then anything else that you've taken throughout your college career, or you've taken in college or high school as a college level class, would be considered an elective outside of that. And when you go on the website to look for dental hygiene programs, they'll show all those classes that you need as a prerequisite, and then all the classes that you need that are going to be needed for your degree in total. A trick is any class that starts with a DEN or DSE, anything that says like that, those are the codes that schools use to mean like dental hygiene, like DH, all of those DEN, DH, DSE, all of those classes. When you look at the course evaluations for schools, those classes you have to take within a dental hygiene program. But if you take anything outside of that, that's considered an elective. So like sociology is going to be like whatever SOC, right? Psychology is going to be like PSY, whatever. Classes, you can take as many as you want. So I'm saying anything that does not have a DEN in front of it, or a DH or anything like that in front of it, when you look up the courses you need to take in the dental hygiene program, you can take those classes before you get in the program. So I would recommend that you take all your prerequisites, and then while you're waiting for the program to get started, once you apply, also take some electives too and mix those in. So by the time you're ready to get into the hygiene program, the only classes you're taking are the dental hygiene clinical program classes that are required for the degree, and you already got most of your electives out of the way that you can take. That's what I did. So I ended up finishing school a little earlier, quote unquote, because I already had all my classes done once I got in the dental hygiene program. So that's, if you attended college, then you understand what I'm saying. But I really wanted to be clear about my point with this. I was saying you can do your prerequisites. While you're taking your prerequisites, you can also do your electives as well. So you can take anatomy and physiology, English, math, and sociology if it's an elective, or take your art history class as you're doing your classes for your prerequisites. So by the time it's time to enter into the dental hygiene program, and those core classes that start with the DEN college course code that can only be done in a dental hygiene program, those classes will already be done. Like, you'll have all your classes done. The only thing that will be left are your dental hygiene classes. I hope that makes sense. That's what I was trying to explain right here. That's a trick to it. Make sure you apply to multiple schools. A lot of the schools have different requirements on their applications. Make sure you apply to your FAFSA, and even if you're not going to use financial aid, apply to your FAFSA, because you can get scholarships like that, and then through the schools. And then also do your deadlines. Like, make sure you know your calendar, make sure you know your deadlines for your schools. Do everything early. Like, if you, like, that's why I'm saying you got to have a checklist. You got to do everything early. You got to know all your deadlines. You got to have a calendar list of all the stuff that you need to do. You need to schedule and plan out your life for the next 24 months, just in case you do get into these schools. Like, right? If you're not going to be working, then who's going to be watching your kids? Who's going to be doing this? Who's going to be doing that? Like, where you gonna be living at? Like, start planning all of that important personal stuff out too, and financial stuff out too, while you're waiting for that. I hope I'm making sense. Let me know in the comments how you feel about this process, if this video was helpful to you. Also, if you are a transfer student, meaning you've already done some type of college education, or you've already had college classes, college credits done in high school, you already had a degree done, you are considered a transfer student. You're a transfer student, and you're going to do a credit evaluation. It's going to be done by an advisor, and that credit evaluation is basically going to let them go through all the credits you've taken before and match them up with the ones that the school will take and what will go together. I would say to do that for every school that I apply to, so you know what you're getting the most out of, because some schools will take all your credits, some will take some will take only one or two, and it's just good to know. Suggest that you do a transfer evaluation if you've ever done any college courses or credits or ever had a degree in anything else, and see how that goes for you. And apply to multiple dental hygiene schools. If I can say anything, apply to multiple dental hygiene schools in different states. If you have an opposing or surrounding state around you, like if you live in, like for me, I lived in New York, I applied to schools in Connecticut and in Jersey because they're close by. They're probably 2 hours away from where I live. Yes, I had to end up moving out there, but you don't want to pigeonhole yourself into only the schools in your state if you don't get in, you know? So apply to multiple schools everywhere and follow up with them if you don't hear from them within a week or two. Email them, get back to them. Like, make sure you're checking your email. Make sure your email address is a legitimate email address and it's not like
sexyitgirl@213. Like,
you want to have a professional email that says like SarahAnn@gmail.com, SarahAnnJones@gmail.com. Like, professional email. You want to be answering these emails professionally. You want to have a phone number that is going to work, so when they call you because they need any information, they can get in contact with you. You want to be speaking on the phone professionally. You want to be going to these professional dental hygiene interviews and dental hygiene events looking the part as well, you know? So represent yourself properly. I know you know what you need to do, but I just wanted to give you a reminder. If you find all of this helpful, please contact and TikTok, YouTube here, and on Instagram. I also made a dental hygiene page to start dedicating more content to just dental hygiene. But if you like to follow me on my personal journey and like vlogs and stuff like that, then you can follow my personal Instagram, and I'll leave it all below in the description box. And I thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it was helpful, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.
We went to Ibiza. Yeah, I probably should go late with Yeezy. I need me some Jesus. As soon as I started confessing my sins, he wouldn't believe us. Sins.